There we go.
All right, we are live on YouTube.
All right.
For the masses. All right, let's take it. I'm going to count us down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Shufflepod. I'm Woody.
Hey, I am George.
And I am Jeff.
DJ is away today.
He should be coming back right about now.
He showed a picture of poop on a subway.
Yeah.
Thank you, NYC.
It's a beautiful thing.
Sounds like a fun time.
Well, and that's the thing is I'm going to New York here in a couple weeks, but I'm going to New York State.
Annual fishing trip?
Oh, yeah. Going fishing here shortly. I finally got to the point. They switched my back meds up and all that good stuff. And with the physical therapy, and I started a new arthritis med now that I'm old. It's unbelievable.
What did they put you on? I'm curious because mine is killing me lately. What do you think?
Ivermectin and a high vitamin. No, I'm kidding. That's COVID. No, right. We are.
And you're.
I'll tell you. Let me see here.
It's all right. If you don't know, we'll figure it out.
It's dead air. Yeah, I'll tell you one more off the air because I was going to look it up on my phone, but I have to go through messages.
Right.
But no, it really, it's like a super Motrin type thing.
Oh, good.
And I'm not supposed to take other Motrin with it.
Right.
But I'd like to challenge that. I'll test that shit out pretty quick. No, it's been unbelievable. And since they worked that knot out of my back on the right side, I did yard work all day yesterday, and so
awesome. That's good. Maybe you'll enjoy your trip.
I'm in a better point in my life right now, which is good. And it actually, I might as well just put it out real quick. I'm starting a new podcast on the network. I talked to Woody about this momentarily yesterday. It's going to be basically focused on, as people know, we're from Ohio, or if they don't know, they know now. And I'm starting a podcast called Be Ohio. And it's pretty much just going to be interviewing people that, entrepreneurs, public servants, stuff like that. Just kind of a positive little podcast thing. I thought of it yesterday. So
I love the idea of it.
I think it's great.
Well, and the unique thing is basically taking ordinary people that are doing really good things. Like
me.
There's my first interview is going to be Woody because he pisses excellence and exudes confidence and extraordinaryism. And extraordinaryism is
extraordinaryism. And he is the brainchild of the Shufflepod. So
it's a big word. Hey, Tim Murphy's on. Shout out to Tim Murphy with the thumb up. It's on the chat over here.
I was just trying to figure out how to see that. Do I need to exit full screen?
No, it's on comments over on the right hand side of your screen.
You'll see.
All right, there we go. I got it now.
We're still learning this, people. We're still learning.
So we give a good shout out. So if anybody has any ideas for me on this new podcast, let me know. Who knows? It may be one episode. It may be 100 episodes. We'll see.
One thing I would definitely suggest is don't steal money from yourself.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. And stay away from, obviously right now, cryptocurrency and possibly
the entire stock market. Probably
extraordinaryism, Tim says. And
extraordinaryism, yeah.
Maybe that, you know what? I'm going to call the podcast Extraordinaryism. But with an S at the end. Extraordinaryisms with a question mark? Could be. So, no, we got shout out to Tim. Hello. No, I'm pretty excited about it. I thought about it. I was mowing the yard yesterday and I was listening to another podcast and it kind of popped in my head and I was like, holy shit, I already got the first guest lined up. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Good.
But
so what was your idea for today's show? We had a meeting a little bit about 2 weeks ago, and we said we needed a little bit better direction. I think that was the culmination of the meeting. Was we needed a little better direction. So George said, next episode, I've got this one.
Well,
and then he wouldn't tell us what it was about.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's and we've probably. I got to thinking about it like today. I was like, oh shit, I'm doubting myself. Like, did we do this episode like 20 times?
Maybe.
But basically,
is it a zombie apocalypse?
it's surviving the apocalypse. Yes. No, what I wanted to talk about was, and we'll throw it out to you know what? Tim's there.
Tim's there.
He's going to be a member of the show. And we'll just let him answer and type, and we'll just go, nice, and not say what it is. So that's
excellent point, Tim.
But basically, I was thinking about this. I was feeling real nostalgic. I was watching and reading articles and watching YouTube videos on old toys and stuff. Okay, like from when we were kids, and we're all relatively the same age, and. I wanted to basically just touch on, like, in the conversation, you know, obviously can go as long as we need it to or whatever, but what was your favorite, like, toy and your favorite activity when we were kids? And would they like survive in today's, you know, children with today's kids? So like Woody, I know you come from a time with wooden horses and stuff like that.
Jeff's older than I am.
Hobby horses.
That's debatable.
Dude, you're not kidding though, because when I was a kid, everybody had one of those horse heads on a stick and
or the collapsible ones. Remember those? The ones you press the
No. I'm talking about like hobby horses, like it was just the head of a horse, like
a stuffed animal
that
horse
big
on a stick.
and on a fucking broomstick, and you just ride around on it playing, you know, cowboys and Indians, which is no longer acceptable.
Do you know what I was thinking about the other day? It was, but I don't know if George, you remember this, but when I know Jeff probably will. When I was little and we'd go to like Cedar Point or Geauga Lake, there was always those Coke bottles that you could win that they like heated up and like stretched out, and like filled with water and then colored the water or whatever. And I'm like, there's no fucking way they would sell those out. There would be glass everywhere.
Well, there was glass everywhere when we were kids.
Yeah.
I
guess I just didn't even notice it back then.
Well, no, and like because I remember like slingshots. My brother and I would, and I don't know, and this just proves we probably weren't ready for slingshots, but we would shoot them from our house as far as we could over neighbors' houses across the street.
Oh, Jesus.
And we would do marbles, rocks. Pennies were awesome because they do this
they go
like noise when they fly. And like we would hit their houses and stuff. But like slingshots and blow darts and stuff like that were awesome.
Yeah.
Crab apples. We would have crab apple fights, which were incredible. Yeah. But those would hurt. I got hit in the testicle with a crab apple. And you want to talk about some serious. We had soup can fights. I ever tell you those stories, right?
Many times. Many times.
You know, I can't remember because I got hit in the head with soup cans like an idiot.
Well, Tim says the 12-inch GI Joe. Those things were awesome.
Yeah, I my whole thing started with Star Wars, the Star Wars characters.
Yep.
And you remember the Ewok playset?
Oh, the Ewok Village.
Right.
The
I had
tree?
that. Yeah, and then they re-released that probably almost 20 years later as the playset from Robin Hood, the one with Waterworld, Kevin Costner. They took that exact playset and they just re-released it as the Robin Hood playset from that movie, that Kevin Costner movie.
So why in God's name would they make any playset of Waterworld? It was literally
I was trying to think what his name was. It was from Waterworld.
Yeah.
No, it was from Robin Hood.
Yeah, because they had their trees.
Okay, because they lived in the trees.
Yeah. But it was the exact same. It had the net and everything. I mean, it was the exact same playset.
Well, see, like I remember Transformers and GoBots.
GoBots,
I had
absolutely, yeah.
The GoBot Command Center, which was incredible.
Yeah.
that was that big like car looking thing, and then all the GoBots would go in it, and then but my parents ended up getting me the Imperial Walker.
Oh, I had that
stuff.
Yeah,
that was incredible. Stompers.
Stompers. I was just going to say stompers. I had 100 of those things. They were great.
I don't
they
remember.
they were the monster trucks that you put 2 AA batteries in, you turn them on and just let them go.
Oh,
and they would always
build shit for them.
They would climb stuff. Yeah, they were like
great
Power Wheels for gnats. So it was incredible.
And then they came up with the micro machines. They were the tiny little
I remember
reproductions of every car. And I'm like, what is the point of these?
Well, and I remember, were you a Hot Wheels or Matchbox car?
Dude, I had all of both. I had probably 1,000 Matchbox cars. Dude, I lived in the country. If we weren't outside, which was all the time on our BMX bikes, we were in the house. You know, if it was raining, it was Matchbox cars. I'm sorry.
Did you have the big Hot Wheels case?
We had a couple of them. Yeah, I had
logo. You remember?
I had that. I had the round one that was the logo. I had one that was just like shelves of cars. I had a box of the ones that weren't my good cars. You know, you had your set. You had these are the ones you use all the time. These are the standbys that you use in the dirt or outside or whatever. It was my friends and I. We all had hundreds of Matchbox cars.
Well, and the big thing is now like some of them are worth fortunes.
Right.
Yeah. And I didn't keep like idiots. We were launching them off, right. roofs and shit like that,
I had all the tracks. I had all that stuff. We would do.
Those were badass.
My dad was great because he would come up with the oddest shit. I had a couple friends over and my dad's like, well, let's do like a Pinewood Derby kind of thing. So he sets up the track from the ceiling, like goes down and does, whatever, and comes around and does this whole thing. And he set it up. We'd give him the cars and he had like a little block that he'd have like a starting block and he'd lift it.
That's badass. Race the
track. And we just picked different cars and our friends, and I'm like, oh, I want to do mine next. It was a blast.
I had probably 7 Hot Wheels cars. Like
he did have Barbies.
Yeah, we didn't have a whole lot of Hot Wheels. Like I had key cars. Do you remember key cars?
Yep.
Yep. It was like it had a spring inside it, and you stuck the key in it, and then when you like press the key, it would shoot out. So yeah, I had a ton of those. I had I actually won from Nestle Quick. I won a remote control transformer. It was first place prize. And when I won it, I thought I'd won the grand prize because it said first place prize. So I thought I won every transformer ever made. And I was like, I was going crazy. And my mom's like, calm down. This is what you won. And I'm like, oh, it still is cool.
Yeah.
But I waited for that thing and waited for that thing and waited for that. It took, they said like 4 to 6 weeks. It must have taken a year to get to me. It was
by the time you got it, you were like, I didn't want this thing.
By the time I got it, I'm like, what the hell? What is this? Where did this come from? But then my mom was like, you have to share it with your brother. I'm like, what?
Like, he didn't fucking win.
Right. He didn't win.
He doesn't even like Strawberry Quick. Fuck him.
Nobody does.
I did. I love Strawberry Quick.
Do you like Strawberry Quick more than the chocolate?
Yes. Ugh. Yeah, at work we make the like little pints of chocolate milk and the strawberry milk, and I love the strawberry one. I can't drink them though because they're as much sugar as a candy bar. Seriously, it's like 250 calories.
You've got 20 toes or 10 toes. 20 toes. Yeah, you have 10 toes. You get a couple of them removed, you could probably still drive a tow motor.
Yeah, probably, but oof.
I mean, you may as well just stick an IV of insulin right in your arm.
Right, exactly.
He said, like, I'm going to drink some milk.
He has this little port. It's a seeping wound that won't heal, and it oozes Strawberry Quick. But all right, so GoBots or Transformers?
Oh,
all right, Transformers were like $50 a piece back then.
I was just gonna say I love Transformers. Didn't have any. I had a whole ton of GoBots though because they were half.
Because half they were like $5 a piece.
But they were a lot smaller too. They were like absolutely. they were like this as opposed to this. I'm like, but they were fun, and you could carry them around more. You didn't.
They were kind of badass. You could always carry them in your backpack. And
exactly.
Shit.
You couldn't take just one to your friend's house. You could take 10 of them, and it wasn't a big deal.
I
remember the
G.I.
rocket.
Joes.
Yeah.
The rocket, you would add water to the rocket, and then you'd put it on its base.
Oh yeah, I got one out in my garage.
Those things were incredible.
They still make them. I bought one for the boy a year or so ago.
Sometimes they go off too soon and shoot you right in the face.
Yeah, shoot you right in the dome.
They're like, fuck.
Yeah, those things were. I don't think what's a toy right now that they wouldn't make for kids? Well, obviously, I had the Voltron, the die-cast Voltron that they had to recall because kids were eating the lions and the paint was lead.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was a lead-based paint, and kids were coming out like,
well, stop eating the paint.
When 1 year when I was a kid, I was probably 6-7 years old. My mom had found in a garage sale the 2-foot like Gundam guys.
Yeah,
and they looked like Voltron, but there was probably 5 of them, and now they're worth a fucking fortune. I had all of them, had all the accessories, the rockets that you'd shoot out of their hands or they'd shoot their fists or whatever. Had the whole setup. If I still had that now, shit.
Well, you know why? Because all the shows that we loved as kids, that if you watch them now, you're like, wow, those were terrible shows. They're reintroducing them as newer animes. And like my daughter, she just watched the whole series of Voltron and loved it. And I'm watching it going, it's not the same. Because it's not what we grew up on. Like, it was really crappy when we were kids, but we loved it anyway because, what else?
What was the show that had the guys and they were all dressed like birds and their visor was clear, but it was like the beak of the bird? I used to love that show and I can't remember what the fuck it was. It was like G-Force or something like that? No, I think it was called G-Force.
Yeah, it might have been G-Force. Thunderbirds was the
G-Spot.
The marionettes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up now because I love them. We had the toys too.
Did you? I never got the toys.
Oh my god, they were
the Fabulous Thunderbirds are what Team America was based on, right?
Yes,
right.
Yeah, they were the marionettes. It was just really bad show.
Like that would come on like sometimes that Link, the monkey secret agent. Do you guys remember that? Yeah, Tim says it was G-Force. So
he's right.
He's right. But do you guys remember Link? It was a chimpanzee. It was a show, and all the characters were chimpanzees, like live action, and they were dressed as like people. And it was like
I don't remember that.
I think it was in reruns by the time I caught it, but because it was probably made in the early 70s or mid 70s, and
Super Marination.
Super Marination. Link. Yeah, Tim knows what I'm talking about.
It's a good thing he's here. This show would have just sank.
We'd have been off the rails. Like going, what were those? What were the things that transformed? What were they called?
Yeah.
He's our guy in the chair. He's checking all our references as we go.
Okay, all right. Comparatively, was Voltron or Robotech cartoon better?
I don't remember Robotech.
I recently watched Robotech again, and
that was sweet.
I'm gonna say the stories and the not so much the animation style because they're pretty similar, but I like Robotech better. That being said, when I was a kid, I saw every single episode of Voltron. I never missed it. I had the book with I'd go get the gum packs and get the stickers for the book. I did, all of it. I loved it. But looking back,
says Robotech as well.
Yeah, Robotech was just a better show. In fact, I could watch it again. Not
Robotech was badass, but I don't think they made toys though, did they?
No, they didn't do a lot of it. Not that I remember. But if you think about it though, Robotech was like the launch of the Gundam.
Yeah,
everything,
Gundam. Yeah.
Right? Like Voltron had they had the the animals, the cats, whatever, the tigers or lions that joined and became the big robot. That was their genre. Robotech was just the Gundams fighting, kaiju and other Gundams and whatever, and it just launched a whole slew of other shows. It was great.
Yeah, I thought like the premise of Voltron was always, to me, was cooler.
Tim agrees.
Robotech was
yeah, very high end toys is what he's talking about. The toys.
Oh, yeah.
I think they were like collectible, like steel toys.
Yeah, that's probably why I didn't have any. I didn't have any because I couldn't afford them.
as soon as he wrote out Robotech, I started remembering it.
Mhm.
It was like that real like the one was like almost like a jet fighter, like white, and it you know, had like this,
That's the one I remember.
Yeah.
I bet they do still make those models. Like I bet they're real popular in Japan.
I do remember the models. You could get the models like you go into your hobby shop and they had the cars, the trucks, the planes, and then Robotech. Like that kind of stuff. And it was like just a part of the fucking the
and they were all Japanese, right?
I think so.
I'm
Weren't they
sure
Japanese-based comic cartoons?
I believe they all originated there. I mean, they were anime. Like I said, I'm pretty sure they were one of the early, at least not early. I'm sure there was some before it, but like one of the early international animes that really launched that group of shows, because I watched it as a kid. Now I watch all kinds of anime. My daughter watches anime, and I don't know if she's watched Robotech, but like I said, she watched the brand new, I think it's Netflix, redid it. But
really?
She loved Voltron. She loved the show.
And I hated the Voltron cars. I always thought that was like a stretch and a reach. I like the lions. Like I would rather like run around in a metal lion than drive a car because
that's a stretch. A car is a stretch, but a metal lion,
right? Well, and I've been
a lot more realistic,
right?
My brother's wife tried to join her car and my car together to form the car.
Didn't end up the same way.
Not end up the same.
Not.
It's still in the body shop.
Still working out the insurance on that one.
What about He-Man?
Dude,
I love me some He-Man.
He-Man and the toys. That was
at one point in time I had every He-Man figure except for the girl, because no matter what kind of action figure I would get, my dad would be like, "You're playing with dolls." I'm like, G.I. Joe's not a doll. G.I. Joe hunts dolls.
So you would have to play with the ambiguously gay ones.
Right. Exactly.
Real buff
I'd have
bird guy.
Right. I'd have to, you just because if I'd have got the girl figure, then it was proving him right.
What was the bird guy? Was that Falcon?
I can't remember. I can remember what he looks like. I can remember he was like a grayish.
Yeah. And then Man of War was the
Man of War was he was green and he had like a weird head, like his head didn't match his body.
Yeah.
It was an afterthought.
We just watched the Kevin Smith version of He-Man, which was all right.
Good. No,
it was all right.
I disagree. I thought it was horrible.
I watched the first episode. I thought it was shit.
Oh well, you should watch the rest of it.
I didn't like how it was then becoming. It wasn't He-Man wasn't the main in the first couple episodes. I didn't like that.
I get it, and we were kind of like Justin and I watched it, and we were kind of on the same page, like what's going on. But it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. I mean,
evidently that caused Kevin Smith a lot of
flack.
Yeah, and I guess a lot of stress and stuff. I guess he had some major depression issues because everybody was pissed off that you have a cartoon. It was this new release of He-Man, and then it features.
Well, especially from somebody that you trust that has an opinion about comics and cartoons and pop culture like you do, because he's usually right on the same level as everybody from our generation,
right?
And then he goes and does this, and it's just way off the rails.
So sometimes it doesn't pay to think that or act like you're the smartest person in the room. You could have just relit He-Man as He-Man,
right,
and just run with it. And I think it would have captured our generation as well as new generations.
Exactly. And I think
that's like G.I. Joe has.
Right. Well, G.I. Joe flopped too. The movies, they were like, people watch them. I liked them. I own the first two. I think there's a third one. I don't know. But it was like, it's not the same.
Whole Snake movie?
Yeah, I think there was a new one.
Snake Eyes?
Yeah.
But to your point about Kevin Smith, I think you're right. And I think the issue that he had with the new He-Man series was he did it in his vision, and they didn't market it that way. If you watch the interviews that he did with the people that did the voices, you get it. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Sure.
But if you didn't, you just hated the show because you're like, oh, what's this bullshit? Like, you're, like you said, He-Man was killed in the first episode. You're like, what the fuck? Sorry, spoiler alert. But But if you watched it, or if they marketed it that way, like this is Kevin Smith's idea or brainchild of how he imagines a He-Man part of the universe, it would have made more sense.
But less people would have watched it, I think.
Right, but I think it would have been more accepting, and they probably would have gone on with a second season as opposed to just cutting it.
Just kind of letting it go.
Right.
Tim asks, worst movie, Waterworld or He-Man?
Oh, back from the 80s? Wow. That He-Man movie from the 80s was horrible.
That was horrible. It was almost as bad as the Street Fighter.
Or
Mario Brothers. Mario Brothers, right. I never made it through the whole of Waterworld.
Really? I've seen it like 3 times.
Yeah,
I thought it was a great shitty movie. I thought it was one of those cult classic type, like, of our age. Like it's gonna be
Ishtar of our age.
Right, or the Lair of the White Worm. It's gonna be so bad that everybody watches it and loves it.
Or Ed Wood.
Didn't they make didn't he make another movie like The Postman, which was like Waterworld but on land?
Oh, probably. I don't know.
Oh yes. Because The Postman was the was it the Frontier one? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
I never watched
it. Like Pony Express.
My hand looked giant.
For once.
This is great. I should get a 12-ounce soda and put it in there. No, yeah, I think He-Man might be worse than Waterworld.
Thanks, Tim. Yes. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to watch it again just for you, Tim. Tim says 3 times. Bless your heart.
Might as well.
Yes, I'm going to watch it again today.
Make it a quadtopia.
Right.
Oh
man.
Do you remember, and this is just me spitballing on this because I'm not 100% sure if I'm correct on this, but I thought there was a GoBot Transformers series crossover.
No.
I thought it was in episodes, like 3 episodes.
If I remember correctly, I think Transformers shut down GoBots, like business-wise. I don't think they.
Right.
I don't think they stopped selling GoBots because Transformers were just wildly popular. I think they were forced to stop making them.
Oh, you think they said they were copyright infringement?
Yeah, I think it was
like a monopoly style. Yeah, you can't do this anymore. But I believe George is onto something because I do recall something about a crossover. I don't think it was ever made, and that's probably what led to what you're talking about. I have no idea. It's just speculation, but I do recall something about a crossover. Like they were going to do a movie or they were going to do something, and
I thought there was. Yeah,
that sounds like some 1980s,
right? Like GoBots versus Transformers or something.
No, what I was saying was like schoolyard rumor.
Oh, maybe
they're going to come out with a GoBots Transformers movie, and the GoBots are going to kick the Transformers' asses.
That's possible. Yeah,
I don't think. I think if there was a fight of worlds, Transformers would just beat the shit out of GoBots.
There's more of them. I don't even remember the premise of the GoBots. Like, what was their backstory? None of it. It's just
I don't either. I Transformers just totally destroyed them. Sales
now,
and.
Do I believe that GoBots should and probably could beat the Dinobots? Yes.
Yeah.
Because I thought that reset was absolutely fucking horrible.
And the fact that they brought it into the live movies, I was like, I'm done. Like, that's it. I'm out. Like, the first movie was the best, let's be honest. Actually, let me phrase that. The first Transformers movie was good.
Mm.
The second movie was not good. The third movie sucked ass, and then they came out with the one with the dinosaurs. I'm like, nope. Bumblebee was phenomenal. It was a great movie.
I thought he was like but if you think about it, Bumblebee is kind of like promoting a He-Man side figure as the main,
right?
Because I remember Starscream.
Right.
Optimus and but not Bumblebee.
Oh no, absolutely. Bumblebee was like one of the very first, and he was in all the cartoons. But he wasn't Camaro. He was a
Volkswagen
Beetle.
Yeah, Beetle.
Which is what made the Bumblebee movie so great. They put him back into the Beetle, and then at the end of the movie, Haley Steinfeld's like, man, I wish I had something better. And he's like, turns into the Camaro, and she's like, wait, you could have been a Camaro this whole time.
Yeah,
all pissed off.
So DJ just landed.
Oh, good. Is he safe? Everything's good?
He must be. He didn't say anything about his wife, so
did he
she
bring
might have left her
with
there.
him? Like, is that in Carry On or?
He picked up an Asian lady boy in New York. Now, what was he going there for?
They were going to go see the Book of Mormon.
Good choice.
And they had tickets to the New World Trade Center Memorial, like to go up and have drinks and appetizers or whatever.
Was it for their anniversary or?
Oh, I have no idea what. Yeah, probably.
I mean, it sounds like a random.
You don't know
what is the Book of Mormon? Is it a play?
It's a musical that makes fun of the Book of Mormon
by the creators of South Park.
It's hilarious.
Oh my God, that would be incredible.
I've heard it. Like, I've never seen like the whole thing, but you can listen to the whole show on like YouTube Music, or I think Spotify has it. My brother and sister-in-law saw it, said it's fucking hysterical. I'm like, I've heard it. I've got to go see it. It's been to Cleveland Playhouse a couple times. Actually, I think it was in Akron too. You just got to watch out and see what's coming, and if it comes, go see it because it's worth every penny.
Because I think it would be a fun play. I don't like live theater. Are you guys into live theater at all?
I saw Les Mis on Broadway, and it was amazing. It was I had a bad breakup, and a really good friend of mine, she had just gotten divorced. So we're like, let's just get the hell out of here. So we decided to go to New York City for a week. And while we were there, I took her to Les Mis on Broadway, and she took me to a Yankees game at Yankee Stadium.
Oh,
Yankee
Stadium, right?
Yeah, it was right after they had traded David Justice.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I was going to get into a fight because there was a guy sitting in front of us, and he's like, "Earn your money, you bum!" You know. And she's like, "Fuck you!" I'm like, "Oh God damn it!" I'm like, "That's it. I'm going to get into a fight."
But then Woody was screaming during Les Mis, "I didn't know they were French. Fuck you, French."
That
would be a good trip.
That would be. I was say I've never seen a show on Broadway. I want to. I hate New York, but I would definitely take my kid to see a show on Broadway.
Boy, it's a weird city, man. I kind of love it. Like, I would never take my wife and my child. Like, never.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of the whores.
No, that's Vegas. That's different. It's a different city.
But like we were walking around, and like there's just a guy standing out on the sidewalk, and he had like a African dashiki outfit on, and he's holding white sign. He's holding up this sign, and he's just flipping everybody off. Like you see shit like that all the time.
It was me. I was that guy. Like,
well, isn't it like horribly expensive? Like,
yes,
ungodly expensive.
Okay, so we drove my pickup truck. I had a pickup truck at the time, and
I remember
to park it cost me as much as the hotel room for the week.
Oh my God. Because it's at a premium, right? Because there's not a ton.
Right.
I got no desire to go there. And Jamie says I need to go to New York City.
No.
And I'm like, no, there's too many fucking people. I don't want to.
George, I'm telling you this right now, and I'm straight up serious with you. If you go to New York City, don't take a gun, because you will use it.
No, well, and it's illegal.
Yeah,
it is.
I'm just saying, because if I had a gun, when I went to New York City, I'd use it, because there's so many assholes. It's just a city full of assholes. No, nothing against a lot of the people, but I mean, they're assholes because it's so crowded. It's so annoying. It smells like piss everywhere.
It does.
Somebody pooped on the subway. He was on.
It's very dirty. But it's an experience. Like, George, I don't think you'd do well. I think your anxiety would get to you. Just too many people, too close. You know?
Yeah.
I don't think you'd like it.
Right.
I think I don't think I would like it now at my age now, but when I was in my early 20s and mid 20s, it was a different story. I was, a little bit more okay with people bumping into me and,
So Tim says he took the train into the city. I flew directly into the airport, JFK right there, or whichever one is in the city. I don't remember. And we just took a taxi, and even the taxi ride was insane. I hated every minute of it. But that being said, I'm not trying to shit on New York. It's a lot of people love it and they enjoy it, and that's what they enjoy. That's not me. I can't stand it.
Right, we're from Ohio.
Right. Well, I worked downtown Cleveland for years.
And I hated it.
And I hated that. That was too much for me. So even when I go down,
well, and I get anxiety just like my brother loves cities, and I get anxiety going to Columbus. I get anxiety going to Cleveland now, and I love Cleveland, and I love Columbus. I think it's a brilliant city.
Yeah,
but to be out of my element, to be somewhere where there's a lot of people, it bothers me. I mean, it completely bothers me.
Yep. Dude, I
can't do it,
so I don't have to go into grocery stores to shop. Like I just don't like being around that many people.
I can understand that.
That being said, like I enjoy going to the theater. I enjoy going to, like I went to the concert the other week. I enjoy doing that, but I've got to be able to get out of that. Like I've got to have my escape. You know what I mean? Like I sit at like on the end rows so that I can get out first.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of do like I've got to have an escape. Otherwise, I can't do it. Don't like it.
And you're closer to the city than the rest of us. I mean,
yeah, I could ride my bike to the city if I really, really wanted to.
Yeah,
I'm like 10 miles.
Well, you still vape. Let's not get carried away. I don't think you're riding a bike 10 miles.
I'm saying I could if I really wanted to. I don't want
I could jog to Akron, but right. That's not realistic either.
All right. See you, Tim. He's got to go. Have a good
day. Bye, Tim.
Work.
Thanks for hanging out.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
There goes our audience.
Thanks for fact checking us.
We've grown by 100%.
That is true. Or 1,000%.
Right.
Yeah.
1,000,000.
Yeah. Maybe next time we'll have 2 guests.
2. If we have 2 people, we're going to have a docking party. We'll have a contest.
Ooh.
I can't wait till we get like 2 people in there fighting, arguing with each other. That'd be fantastic.
That would be great. So Woody mentioned something earlier, and it made me think, and this is back to our topic of toys, but
way to dial it back. Good job.
He mentioned the toys that were like the Ewok Village. It was made for a different thing.
Yeah.
How about toys that we grew up with that are now popular again? Here's an example. The Evel Knievel motorcycle with the ramp that you wound it up and it took off. Now they've got
because of the Toy Story. Yeah.
It's
the Canadian guy.
Right. They're digging back into the old stuff that we used to do. Like big wheels, but they're different. But they're like, oh, look at this new thing that we got. We're like, yeah, we had those when we were kids.
What about the slot racers? I loved setting up slot race tracks, but if you mashed the control down, they just fly off the first curve.
And I had no self-control. I could not do those at all because like I would just like there was no letting off to go around the curves and stuff. It was just full bore.
Yep.
So I hated them. I absolutely hated them.
Justin's brother-in-law's dad has a huge, like 1/25th scale, not the little ones, but they're like, about 6-7 inches long. He's got a track with 4 tracks in his basement, and they have slot car race days. Yeah, it's all set up on the computer that tracks the time, and you've got spotters. Really? Yeah. And you've got spotters. I went down for one. I didn't race, but I was a spotter. So, like anytime a car runs off the track, you put it back on its track real quick so that they don't lose time. It's actually, I'm not a huge fan of slot cars either. I loved them when I was a kid, but it was a good time. We had fun. Yeah.
Do you think, like in this day and age, speaking of toys that were great that are coming back, do you think that kids would be interested in model trains like our dads were of our generation? Because I remember my one friend, his father would hand make this the landscapes and stuff out of styrofoam, and would make these, tunnels and all this stuff. And they were the small. He was into the small Lionel trains where you could add the oil and it would smoke.
Oh yeah,
out the smokestack and stuff. I don't think kids have the patience, and I'm not knocking kids. Like I'm like back in my day, but I don't think kids have the patience to do model trains.
Right.
I was fascinated.
Yeah, like to buy the sets and
right.
But to sit there and make the pieces, no, absolutely not.
It also takes a lot of time and dedication and space because you're not taking it down and putting it back up and shit. But I actually know a kid he's probably 12 now. He would probably get into it, but not yet because they call him foamers. He loves the steam trains, like absolutely loves them. His mom takes him down every time there's the steam train that goes down through the valley just to see the train because there's literally hundreds of people that line the whole track all the way down just to see these steam trains. That's the kind of person that would really enjoy the models.
Yeah,
sure.
Because
do you know the Cuyahoga Valley Railway stopped doing the Polar Express this year?
Why?
No idea. They're doing a Winter Wonderland something or something like that. But they're not doing the Polar Express anymore.
I've been on it, and honestly, the Polar Express is really, I don't care what they call it. It's the same thing. It's just you get on the train. They tell, you have your cocoa and cookies, and you go down and you see Santa Claus at the end and come back. I mean,
I think that's what it is. I think that's what the new thing is, but they're just not calling it the Polar. Maybe because they don't want to pay the rights to.
It's probably it's not like they read the book. I expected them to have like a book reading and all that kind of stuff, but it was just.
Did you do that with your daughter or just you?
We did that. I did it by myself a couple times, but
just him.
I did take my daughter once, but I mean, it was a good ride. It was fun.
He puts his PJs on.
Yeah.
Everybody started complaining about him being by himself. All right, I'll bring my daughter next time.
They're going to be like, sir, you can't come in here in just tidy whities. Just want to sleep in. What the fuck?
Well, the funny thing is that was the year that the first Deadpool movie came out, right? And the only onesie I had, the only PJs that were acceptable, because she wanted to wear onesies, was Deadpool. And she comes out in a unicorn onesie, and I'm like, nope. You gotta change. No. That's the only one you can't wear. Any other one is fine. She's like, why? And I'm like, you'll find out in a few years when you watch the movie. She finally watched the movie and went, oh.
That's why. She's like, thanks for having my back, Dad.
It was hilarious. I was like, that's not the one. Nope.
My kid was
all bright red laughing. It's hilarious.
My kid was like, "Can I watch the Deadpool movies?" And I was like, "You get straight A's, absolutely. I will sit there. I'm like, if you get straight A's, not only can you watch those movies, I will explain all the jokes to you."
Wow.
Yeah, there's no chance he'll
never see the movie.
No, he'll never see the movie.
That's a sure bet.
Sure is.
Yep. Man, I can't wait for the next one. They're hilarious. Of all the superhero movies, Deadpool.
I never heard of him until they decided to release that movie, and you and Justin were so excited about it. You're like, he breaks the fourth wall all the time in the comics, and I'm like, what?
Well, and I didn't like I like this version of Deadpool.
Yeah,
I didn't like in the XMen the Deadpool that they played. That was dumb.
Was he supposed to be Deadpool in that?
Yeah, it's the one
in the X-Men Origins with Mm-hmm. Well, they even make fun of that because Ryan Reynolds played the character, and he's like, "What the hell were they thinking?"
Yeah.
And in the end of the second movie, when he's got Bishop's time travel device, he goes back and shoots himself before he can make that movie.
Right.
He's like, "You'll thank me later." Because it was bad. I don't know who thought that was a good idea. Well, even Gambit in that movie was terrible. People didn't even know it was Gambit. They're like, who the fuck's this guy? It's Gambit. It's bad.
Yeah.
But
I hope they do a cool ass reset of X-Men again, because I think I kind of like X-Men even more than Avengers.
Yep.
And I don't know. I mean, I know that's kind of sacrilegious, I guess, but I don't like the Fox version.
It was a lot more popular than the Avengers.
Oh, yeah.
Before the movies, it was X-Men were way more popular than the Avengers.
Yeah.
X-Men have been popular for decades, honestly.
Yeah.
And not just the one group, but like the 4 or 5 different classes.
Yeah.
And I mean, like you said, the new versions that they came out with, Fox did, it was all right, but it wasn't. I mean, both the sets of movies, they were really not true to the. What the hell are you doing?
Trying to get Caesars.
I defecated myself when I see that light. It's the brown. It's the brown sound.
It's my I've got this awesome super glue that it's UV cured. I've been using it on all my 3D prints. Speaking of that, I printed up a Millennium Falcon. It's like this big. It's awesome. I'm sending it to my brother-in-law. I'm not letting him know about it. I'm just gonna send it out to him.
Well, hopefully he doesn't listen.
They're in Legoland right now.
Oh, okay. Before we wrap this up,
Legos.
Very, very quickly.
You like that?
Go.
My little transition. Go ahead.
Yeah, do it.
All right. Really, really quick. Next week, the ObiWan.
Oh my God! I'm so excited about that.
That's next week.
Going to be amazing, or is it going to flop?
There is no middle ground. It will do one of the two.
Absolutely.
So, I don't know where you guys stand on the. Solo was good, right? Solo was good. I thought it was great. No, you didn't like Solo? Oh, I thought it was awesome.
I thought it was decent.
How about Rogue One? I thought Rogue One.
I loved Rogue One. It's one of my favorites.
Absolutely.
Horrible.
Well, in that case, George and I are gonna like Obi-Wan, and Woody's gonna be like, "No, it sucked. I hate it."
Well, but see, Obi-Wan's a classic character, and this kind of gives the lost years from when he goes on exile to when he meets Luke. Is that correct? Is that?
I have no idea.
But I thought it was just he kind of kept an eye on Luke and just lived there on Tatooine.
Yeah, that could be fun.
But obviously that's not what happened, or they wouldn't make a series out of it. He has to leave planet and go do things and stuff for the series to work. Yeah, I loved The Mandalorian. I loved the Book of Boba Fett. So
I thought Boba Fett was kind of
it's fantastic.
No, it was good, but I think with when you have to rely on the Mandalorian to carry that series at the end, I thought there was it goes to prove that maybe Boba Fett was better being a minor character and a fan favorite than being a complete focused on show.
Yeah.
I hate saying that because he's my favorite. And he was my favorite because he was always just a badass. And
he's still a badass.
But he wasn't. I didn't think he was in this. They made him weak.
Well, he had to build up his strength. He had to not only physically, but his power in the region and stuff like that. And so that's what that first season is going to be.
I don't think they're coming out with the second season. I don't think it was popular enough that they're going to have a second season. Just my opinion and observation.
So? I don't know what the ratings were with it. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell with streaming.
Yeah, I don't either. But it seems like George, we both are on same page, and I'm not just basing it on us, but a lot of people I talked to are like, "Oh, it's a good show," but it was lacking. There was no. Well, I don't even know what the plot was anymore because
I thought it was forced a little bit.
Exactly. They threw the Mandalorian in. He came and saved the day for a bad guy when he's. I'm like, it doesn't make sense. Is he the bad guy? Is he the good guy? We don't know. It just they lost their train of thought and just kind of made a show, which is really weird because what's his name? Not Kevin Feige, whatever the fuck his name is. He usually does
Favreau?
Yes, Favreau. Thank you. I'm I can't remember the fucking dude's name. He usually does a lot better in his work. His writing, his directing. And this one just seemed off.
They seemed to put a lot of faith in him because he did The Mandalorian as well.
Yeah, which was awesome.
And I thought that was incredible.
Right. And So that's why I'm like,
Okay.
I think it's kind of.
So the Mandalorians got a set story lore to it.
Correct.
Like him going back to the planet and
Right.
regaining the seat of power or whatever. Whereas like Boba Fett, you kind of have to make this up, and so there's not all of that history. So they had to build all that history into the first episode, and or not the first episode, but the first season. And I think if they do go along with it, I think it'll be fantastic.
I just thought it was chintzy with the glamours or whatever the hell they were, the modders. I didn't like them. They're supposed to be poor, but they had like the best bikes in the world and everything else. There were aspects of the show that I thoroughly loved, and there were aspects of it's the first time that I've watched something Star Wars and not been all in.
Yeah.
I mean, I consider and debate like why they had the good technology, but they were poor. Like on that planet, it's not technology that you need; it's water and food that you need.
Sure,
so like you can have the best tech and still be starving to death.
Yeah, I guess I can see it that way.
Like our planet.
Yeah.
But
a cell phone in every pot.
Right. So here's to Woody's point, actually to all of our point. I think it could be great if they combine the two series. Because let's face it, they're both Mandalorians, right? They're both of the same, not the same tribe, but the same background. If they blend them together and make it one show, it's a hit. If they leave it the Mandalorian and Boba Fett, I think Boba's going to fall off and the Mandalorian will take off. Because you got...
Fett's technically a clone. The Mandalorian's a Mandalorian. From the planet Mandalore.
Yes. But Boba Fett is of the Mandalorian clan because he was trained to be one. That's the whole point of the Mandalorian coming into that. And getting his armor and all that bullshit. That was the tie-in. My point is, if you keep them together, one is competing with the other instead of having them work together, and the Mandalorians got it hands down.
I think he does. And I think I would love to see more interaction between the Mandalorian and his hatred or perceived hatred to Jedis. Because I would like to see more of the negative side of Jedi culture, because I think that's something that's lost in a lot of the storylines. Because you could make the argument that, and I'm going to nerd out for a second. I've always been fascinated with the Empire, and you can make the argument just because we had Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker in the Rebels, you can make the argument that the Rebels are the bad guys in a way, other than obviously the Empire blowing up planets. Okay.
Well, it's a lot like, I mean, they just expanded that with like the Thanos thing. Like Thanos had the best intentions for the universe in mind, but went about it the whole the worst possible way you could go about it.
Sure.
I disagree. I think he went about it the best possible way, but nobody liked it.
But that's the same with like there's two sides to every story. Like Hitler thought he was the good guy. Yep.
So, and I've said this 100 times, I'll say it again. The difference between good and evil is perspective. Which side are you looking at it from?
Yeah.
Who
I
writes
can
the
go off
books?
on all kinds of different people right now, but the point is everybody thinks they're right. And unless you're able to listen to every side, you're never going to get out of that mindset. And you're always going to think you're the good guy when you might not be. And that's just all, that's just.
Well, you are. Everybody's the good guy. Everybody's the bad guy to the opposite. Yep. It's like you said, it's all perspective. But
that's the thing. It's not everything's good and evil. In fact, nothing is good and evil. Nothing in this world is. It's just
until Ted Bundy was kind of evil.
Until it's over and there's a winner because they write the history.
Right, they write the history. Exactly. I mean, Ted Bundy, was he evil? Nope. He was just deranged and demented. He was just crazy. I mean, was he evil? according to some people, because that's what they think is evil. That's a whole different show. We're going off on a different.
It's Jeffrey Dahmer that was hungry.
That's right. He was hungry, and an avid golfer. They found a bucket of balls in his fridge. But that's
Are you serious?
Balls.
Oh, you.
Yeah.
On that note,
Yeah,
he got me. Let's just wrap it up because we'll end on a high note. We're gonna so like it's a bucket of balls and vintage toys, and a bucket of balls.
No, it's an extraordinaryism bucket of balls.
Extraordinaryism. We'll make that work.
All right. Anybody else have anything before we wrap it up?
No, I think Jeff summed it up there with a bucket of balls.
Just want to thank Tim again for stopping by today. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
I know he's left earlier, but thanks,
Maybe
Tim.
next time, maybe Tim has another friend that he can debate with on the thing. And then that friend brings a friend. Then all of a sudden, we got a shuffle army.
Yep. A bunch of podophiles.
Just a podophile army just chasing after children. All right, boys. Until next time. Peace.
See ya.
Later.
All right, I'm going to end the broadcast in 3, 2, 1.